For more than a century, a story has persisted at the intersection of astronomy, radio science, and UFO folklore, describing a dark object orbiting Earth long before the first human satellite reached space. Radio transmissions, radar detections, and photographs have all been woven into the legend. This is the Black Knight satellite. Story begins in the late 19th century with inventor Nikola Tesla. While conducting wireless experiments in Colorado Springs, Tesla reported receiving unusual repeating radio signals that appeared to originate beyond planet Earth. Years later, amateur radio operators would report another anomaly. Delayed echoes that returned long after their original transmissions had been sent. Engineers proposed natural explanations, but within UFO circles, these signals became the earliest clues in a much larger mystery. The legend gained momentum in 1954, when reports surfaced claiming that an unidentified object had been detected in orbit around Earth. The timing was extraordinary. Sputnik would not launch until 1957. And no nation possessed the technology required to place a satellite into orbit. If the reports were accurate, the object circling the planet could not have originated from any known space program. A single question began to take shape. What occupied Earth's orbit before humanity learned how to reach it? As the decades passed, additional incidents were folded into the narrative. Radar contacts, unexplained radio phenomena, astronomical observations, and military rumors were gradually assembled into a single chronology. By the late 20th century, believers were no longer discussing isolated events. They were discussing a specific object, a silent satellite occupying Earth's orbit before the dawn of the space age, and remaining there throughout the modern era. The most dramatic versions of the legend identify the Black Knight as an extraterrestrial probe. According to these accounts, the object arrived at Earth approximately 13,000 years ago from another star system. Its purpose was not conquest, colonization, or communication. Its purpose was observation. The probe allegedly entered orbit around Earth long before recorded history had begun monitoring the development of human civilization. This interpretation transforms the satellite from a technological anomaly into a cosmic observer. In Black Knight lore, the object records wars, migrations, empires, extinctions, and technological revolutions without interference. Supporters of the theory often point to photographs taken during NASA's STS-88 space shuttle mission in 1998. The images show a dark, irregular shape suspended against the blackness of space. NASA identified the object as a thermal blanket lost during a spacewalk. Within Black Knight lore, however, the photographs become iconic. For believers, the images captured the ancient space probe itself, a rare glimpse for the observer that had remained hidden above Earth for thousands of years. Descriptions of the satellite vary across different versions of the story, but most portray a structure unlike conventional spacecraft. Rather than smooth metallic surfaces or recognizable propulsion systems, Witnesses and artists often depict an angular asymmetrical mass covered in protrusions and irregular contours. The object is frequently imagined as ancient machinery, weathered by thousands of years in orbit, carrying the appearance of a device built for endurance rather than for beauty. The legend also proposes a reason for the satellite's silence. According to some interpretations, the probe is not waiting to communicate with humanity, it is waiting to report on humanity. In these accounts, the object functions as a remote monitoring station, collecting information about Earth's biological and technological development, before transmitting its findings back to its creators. The satellite, therefore, becomes part of a larger system. Like many enduring mysteries, the Black Knight story survives because it combines unrelated fragments into a coherent narrative. Tesla's radio signals, delayed echoes, early orbital reports, and space shuttle photographs each possess independent explanations, yet when arranged in sequence, those fragments create the impression of a continuous story stretching across more than a century. The legend gains strength not from a single piece of evidence, but from the accumulation of many pieces. Whether the Black Knight satellite represents a misunderstood collection of historical events, or an undiscovered object in Earth's orbit, remains unresolved. Yet the legend continues because it addresses a deeply unsettling possibility that human civilization may have developed beneath the gaze of an intelligence that never announces its presence. Among all stories involving extraterrestrial life, few are more unnerving than the image at the center of the Black Knight legend. An invasion fleet, not a signal from deep space, not a visitor arriving on Earth. A silent machine copy in the darkness above the atmosphere, watching generation after generation pass beneath its orbit, recording the rise and fall of civilizations, and waiting for a mission known only to the civilization who launched it. Concludes this entry. But every shadow leads to another trace, and every trace to another unanswered question. If you want the next case as soon as it resurfaces, stay with us. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and step back into the dark with Noctombre.